What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DGen Dads podcast. I'm joined today by, you guessed it, Kyle Wilson. I will bring him up in just a minute. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about Web3 gaming. We're going to be talking about some free NFTs, of course, the latest news in the space, and even Coinbase getting a notice that they might be in a little bit of trouble, the crypto market, all things NFTs. So without further ado, good morning, Kyle. How's it going today, man?
Hey, it's going good. We're just rocking out.
I know, man. It's funny. I just turned on the music. So I got a bone to pick with you, Kyle. Last week when we were on your channel, we switch every week for those that are just coming in. I was supposed to be put down for the intro, so you had some music going too, and I was vibing a little bit. And when I went back to watch your stream, I was on camera the whole time.
I saw that. Yeah.
I was supposed to be waiting to be brought up. I'm glad I wasn't getting ready, man. Brushing my teeth,
in the shower,
put my clothes on and stuff. Just last minute. Good thing I was prepared.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, my software, I guess, was jank, my streaming software, but yeah.
That's all good, man. How's it going today? How's the crypto and NFT life treating you?
It's going good, man. Dad life's good, man. Couldn't be better. Kids are growing too fast, like always. Really sad. Brings a tear to my eye, but makes me happy at the same time. It's the conundrum parents must face. But no, other than that, it's been really good. Just been working and raising the kids and having fun in life. So I'm excited for the warm weather too. So
dude, me too. I went from where we go to the farmer's market every week with my kids, and I went from wearing no sleeves one week because it was hot, back to wearing a jacket and I was still cold. But I think we had one of our last cold nights of the year, at least where I live, or of the the season this week. So I'm ready for some warm weather for sure. And on the kids growing up, man, there's this viral sound going around on Instagram and TikTok. It's I don't remember exactly what it says, but it's around the lines of the little fingerprints you see everywhere around the house, the piles of laundry that are never done, the things you basically can't get done. It's going to end sooner than you want it to. All those little tiny frustrations or what could be stressful, they will go away. But when they go away, you're going to miss your little ones being little.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's what I kind of just echo every day. It's just when I'm talking to my wife, I'm like, man, these are the moments we're going to cherish, even though they seem it's tough to raise kids sometimes and tough to do all those little dirty things that parents or maybe even newlyweds don't really think about until you have kids. When they're out of the house, it's that those moments won't ever come back. They're gone. And it's you'll actually come to appreciate those difficult times that were there, and the laundry, putting on the socks on their little feet, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm trying to enjoy every minute of it. But without further ado, man, there's been a lot happen this week. Yesterday, you made a video on one of the big Veve announcements. They announced Rabbids coming to Veve with Ubisoft. Dude, I can't say I'm a Rabbids fan per se, but Rabbids feels like part of my, not really childhood, because it came out when I was a teenager, preteen, something like that. But I remember Rabbids and the Wii. That was a big deal when the Wii came out. I think they even teamed up with Mario at that time. They weren't really I want to say they weren't really partnered with Nintendo before the Wii. And then when the Wii came out, they partnered with Nintendo. So I've known Rabbids for a while, and I've had a couple of games that incorporated them. But you want to give us a TLDR of your video, which obviously people should watch after we're done with the podcast. I will leave it up at the top at this segment for you to click on and watch that video for more detail.
Yeah, sure. So what was the recap you wanted me to do? Oh, of my video?
Sure. Yeah, too long didn't read.
Yeah.
Also, just shout out to everybody who's here already. So you got SoCal, who's the first one in here, saying good morning, fun under the sun. We met him in California. Good morning, fun under the sun.
Hey, good to see fun under the sun.
Marquez, of course. Good morning, Daniel. How's it going? GM, let's go.
Welcome in, chat, man. Good to see everybody in the house. Homies unite. So the Rabbids, they dropped recently on Sandbox. They've been, obviously Ubisoft has really been bullish in the Web3 space. I think they've already dropped their own marketplace around one of their first person shooter games or whatever, or FPS games. And where you could buy like skins and things like that. And at first they got a lot of backlash, but they're continuing to push the needle here for in Web3. And I think they, you know, them, Square Enix, and a few other like game studios are really bullish on the Web3 space. So Rabbids, again, they dropped on Sandbox and they're coming over to Veve. And I think they even dropped on Quid as like stickers or something, or like collectibles there too. So they're like sprinkling their IP around. Obviously Rabbids is, I think it's important to Ubisoft because it's like one of their flagship brands. So it's good to see that they're on Veve and maybe the direction where Veve could go. Not to say that Veve is going to do that anytime soon. It's just like a fingers crossed kind of thing. But it's kind of like healthy speculation there, I guess, because we could see the, like, maybe they do like avatars and Veveverse or something. I hope they like I hope Veve really pushes the needle and like gets out of the whole collectible only and like static.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like because
Somebody
like
said it.
right, and because Quid did that. I mean, Quid's doing that now, and matter of fact, they're interoperable and spatial now. So they're doing big stuff, man. And I hope Veve kind of breaks out of their mold. Yeah, collectors at heart, but let's kind of do other things. You know, let's push collectibles forward, push the NFTs forward, and the space forward. So that's kind of my like where I hope things go.
No, dude, that's how I've really felt like the last like year at least, is like Veve has so much momentum, and they did obviously like their core is like collector base, but just with the momentum, why not use it and do other things like make games, or even like not make games, but like work with partners to be interoperable for their games? Because like just to say make a game, that's like unrealistic. I mean, it's not unrealistic, but like that requires way more than than what people think. But to say, hey, we're going to drop NFTs that will be just honestly like Quid just did with their last mint. We're going to drop NFTs that will be interoperable with somebody who does make games. Like that's not far fetched. So
Right.
I would love to see Veve do something like that. And it's not. Here's the thing. It's not out of the range of possibilities, but it's also not something that they've come out and said that they want to do. As of right now, it's a collector's app that makes collectible stuff. And then with that collectible stuff, I do think there will be like, and I think they have said this, like these things could serve as like avatars in the Veveverse, which would be really cool. Like having a rabbit as an avatar or your favorite X, Y, or Z as an avatar would be really cool. But at the end of the day, I really, really hope they do get on board with some of the other stuff going on. And I think it's very possible. I'll actually pull this up to like Rabbids has already worked the sandbox. They have like a little trailer on like what that looks like. But to be able to do stuff like this would be really awesome. But all that to say, like, not out of the range of possibilities for Veve, but Vive's never like came out and said, hey, we want to do these things. So hopefully they will come out and say, hey, we want to do these things. Let me
bone to pick. I have a quick bone to pick too, is like, I remember telling people like you could use like some of these NFTs to unlock an asset in a game, and people were like, "Oh, you gotta." What Trevor said, you have to make them like a skeleton and movable. I'm like, look, no, like look what Quid just did. That like one of the stickers now unlocked an avatar, or at least this new airdrop that is playable. And so like I'm like, this was already a thing in the wider macro NFT space. So it's good to see that people are like actually opening their minds a little bit about the possibilities. But I'm with you on like hopefully we'll get some like clarity and some vision casting where Veve plans to go. Because again, they did a lot of that in the beginning. So I just want them to like redo that. Like where are we going in this space?
Yeah, man, absolutely. And you're so right. Because one of the big arguments I hear like over like Twitter spaces and just tweets is like, well, Veve collectibles aren't designed for like, you know, those like interoperability like aspects, like being able to just take the asset they've made and put it into a game. But like you said, like you can take anything and put it into a game, because like at the end of the day, like a lot of these JPEGs, you're just buying pictures or like code that leads to pictures. But when you actually plug that into a game, it becomes a whole different asset where that the game's made. So I'll actually get to that. If people want to see at the end, I've actually been playing this game recently, this NFT, this Web3 game. It's just like that. I mean, I own the JPEG of this picture, but once I plug it into this game, which by the way, who the founder of this game sold Zynga, once I plug the asset into this game, I have this like 3D version of that asset that walks around and moves and stuff like that. So they don't have to be designed to play inside of Veve for them to work and other stuff. I actually haven't watched this, Kyle. It's really short, but this is the Rabbids sandbox. I figured it's pretty relevant to what we're talking about. I have the sound off, so we can just kind of comment. Dude, wait a second. You're in this? Bro, you played? That's you, Kyle. That's you up and down, man.
Well, which guy? The beard guy?
Yeah, dude. Tell me that's not you.
I
I didn't
mean,
know. I didn't know you're in this, man.
I can't deny. I mean, no comment. No comment.
That's pretty cool too. They got like the cool cats. They got World of Woman. They got Crypto Punks, Bored Apes on back on in the sandbox. This is
Yeah.
supposed to be a rabbits. Oh yeah. This is like where the rabbits are like, yo, let's come
Whoa,
join
whoa,
the
whoa.
rest of the NFTs.
If you back it up too, a lot of people, for whatever reason, are trying to paint this narrative that you can't port in NFTs in the sandbox and it look good. But if you saw in the background, you saw the pictures of like Basie. They're not pixelated at all. This is why I've been trying to tell people posters matter and will matter a lot more in the metaverse. And people in Veve just are like, because they don't go off into other like metaverses or do like, I'm like, I've been trying to tell people on my channel for like 2 years that's not the case. But anyways, you can see those images in the background. They're not pixelated. Those are full rendered NFT images.
Pump my poster bags, Kyle.
I don't have that many posters. I still have the bond. I still have the Bond posters, and I still have like the Ultraman posters and things like that. But it goes to show you can display NFTs in these other metaverses at high full quality. Like, I don't know who keeps in Twitter Spaces keep saying you can't do certain things and you can't do this, can't do that. I'm like, literally, I've been saying this for like 2 years. Like, get off of Twitter and go to YouTube and watch some of these videos that we've been putting out for the past 2 years. And
yeah, bro, watch some DJ and Dad's podcast, which, by the way, there's a new YouTube feature that Kyle and I are experimenting with to where we can actually take these videos and put them on a podcast playlist, which we've already done. And it's not full. It's functional. It's a little confusing right now, but you can actually listen to this podcast over YouTube Music. So like instead of watching it like on YouTube, you can actually use the YouTube Music app, which I use all the time and I've been using forever. Well, I've been using it since it got bought. It was something else. It was Google Play Music, I think, something like that, and then they got bought by YouTube Music. So yeah, it's a pretty cool feature we've been trying out. But Ubisoft, Rabbids, invade Veve now. Hopefully Veve does more than just the like collectible side of it. Like Kyle and I both said, like the collectibles are awesome. We are here for the collectibles, but at the end of the day, Kyle, another thing is like no matter what IP we get, if it stays at a collectible level, I'm probably gonna get hate for saying this. There will be a little bit of disappointment in me, you know. Like if we got, I watched your video. You don't think that this is necessarily like Nintendo speculation, but hypothetically, you know, if we got like Mario or we got like Pokemon, but it just stays at the collectible level, that's still really cool. But like it would be like light years cooler if like they could use that to work with other things outside of like it just being a collectible. That's just my two Satoshis.
Right. I mean, that's kind of where the NFT space is going. If you're tracking like the macro of things, people are putting additional value to these NFTs and making them like interoperable among each other and different assets and different worlds and things like that. We saw Immutable collab with Polygon to actually bring even more life into these NFTs to make them interoperable back and forth, you know, ZK EVM compatibility on Ethereum. And so we are seeing like this trend, and it would be an absolute shame if that some of these collectibles don't do anything and that they just plan to just drop collectibles like forever, which is fine. Like there's going to be a market for that. Like if you look at GameStop's revenue, like a lot of their, you know, revenue is generated from, or not a lot, but a giant portion. I mean, billions of dollars is generated from like, or multi-million. I can't remember the exact number. I swear it was $1 billion or something, but, is from physical collectibles.
Yeah.
So there's a massive market for it for sure. And the first appearances, like there's always going to be a market for that. Not every single first appearance, but like if you're just wise and you know what to collect, then I think there's always going to be value in that. Which is why like I came to Veve in the first place, right? The first Batman on the blockchain, that's a big deal. So not to like discredit or say it's not a big deal, because it is, but it would be a shame if Veve doesn't do anything at all and just keeps continuing to do like the same stuff over and over and over and over. In my opinion, I mean, we're seeing all these other platforms do other stuff. So
well,
let's, you know.
We can talk about it later, but I feel I made a video on this. If you haven't watched it, why? It's my one of my last videos I posted. I went over the potion, and I think the biggest thing about the potion coming next Wednesday is that Veve took notes. Bored Ape did it in 2021, where they had these serums, and these they were airdropped to Bored Ape holders, which it would have been nice if obviously the potions were airdropped to Golden Moments holders. I think that would have made sense, or Platinum Moments now. And you could choose either to keep that serum or you could give it to your ape. And if you gave it to your ape drank it, and now you get this mutant ape, which you know as Mutant Ape Yacht Club, which has like a 20 ETH floor price, whatever it's at right now. So Veve took notes from that, and they're doing the potions, and they're doing it very similar to where, except it's going to be a drop that you buy. And if you have one of these platinum moments that just dropped yesterday or whenever it was, you could pair it with the platinum moment to be able to get an exclusive poster or an exclusive moment, or you can hold the potion and keep the potion as a digital collectible, a premium digital collectible. So all that to say, that's how the potions work. Go watch the video for more detail, and I have a short on it too that's less than 60 seconds. All that to say, the biggest takeaway from this is Disney is at least somewhat okay with utility, like not just any utility, like burning mechanics. Disney is okay with stretching out to the macro NFT space and taking notes. Disney is okay with being flexible. Like that's my biggest takeaway from that is like the IP obviously was okay with this concept. So I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. So this to me is not a big surprise, and the notes that they're getting is probably from Bob Iger himself, because he is watching the space, and this is something I covered the past 2 years and exactly predicted the return of Bob Iger like a year and a half ago. I said Bob Iger has been in the NFT space collecting like I think it was like the meta cheese or whatever. So he's been watching. I mean, this guy has been in the space. He's an advisor to a NFT fashion company. And so to see him back at Disney is very bullish and exciting.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Genies. And it very exciting for the future of where Disney could go. So not to like, hopefully like that aligns with what Veve's direction and their plans to go. If they can get their, their dev team like up to speed quick enough and like expand out their team a little bit more, and to maybe collab with some of these other platforms that are doing like kind of pioneering things in the space, then I think that would be good. It would be because then I think you'd get more daily active users. Launch the Veveverse, make the whole experience just more sticky.
Yeah, retention is extremely important, for monetization in the world. So collecting is one thing, but will collecting keep people on the app for them to monetize and expand? Maybe, but what definitely would, is like if you had even more to do on the app. But with all that being said, there is some huge things going on in the NFT space I'm about to bring up real quick. I do want to bring up Daniel's comment. He said, I agree with both of you, by the way. I did see that vid. Chris, I agree. Veve doesn't like to give anything for free, very rarely. The Veve logo for very tight wallets. Yeah. All right. So like I said, there's some huge things going on in Web3 gaming right now, Kyle. I think you're pretty familiar with this recent announcement. Or this isn't really recent. Me and you both minted this like a year ago. But Web3 has some serious momentum right now. And if you scroll over here, Dr. Disrespect tweeted this a couple weeks ago, and it kind of blew up, bro. I know he's popular, but 8.6 million views. I'm just going to read it real quick if you can't see it. Imagine trying to extract with an item you discovered worth $100,000 on the chain. Think about the entertainment value as the viewer, let alone the player. A new PvP experience is upon us. I know Double Quill doesn't like PvP because he commented on my tweet last night about Web3 gaming. And then going even further, the concept of digital collectibles, notice the words he used. He doesn't say NFTs, is an online game is so exciting to me, especially an extraction type of game. People saying scam and are just brain dead. Headline followers. Same people that spend a ton of skins for annual release game. Same skins everyone has too. And then somebody responded to it and he said, what an idiot. So this Dr. Disrespect, if you don't know, he is the one of the founders, or like I guess whatever, with 12 a.m. or Midnight Society. Midnight Society is this game that me and Kyle minted like a year ago almost for $50. Was talking about it all the time. Hope you're following the channel and got into. That being said, I did sell right before the big pump like a month or two ago. I wish I wouldn't have, but here we are. There's a lot of other games
I
that
would
I'm
have
playing
stopped
right
you,
now,
bro.
and I wasn't keeping up, and I didn't want to wreck Kyle in front of all of his
You
subscribers.
should have called me. You should have been like, bro, should I sell this like super dank NFT? And I've been like, nah, bro.
I am pretty sure I did. The thing sat at like so cheap, like dirt cheap forever. Dr. Disrespect didn't say, hold on, I got to blow this up for a second.
I feel stupid for not buying like a bag of them.
Well, I mean, like, you know, in hindsight, like this thing dropped like a year ago almost. We minted for $50 cash each, or fiat. And nobody talked about it for like a year, dude. Like nobody in the NFT space said a word about it. They had their own little Discord. They had like weird little meetups. They had some like whatever. Dr. Disrespect didn't talk about it. So I'm holding on to this thing. It's like it's worth like, I don't know, maybe like $100, $200 for like.
Put my screen up there, by the way.
Well, I got something else to show too. I was holding this for a long time in the NFT space, and then it just jumps to like, you know, like 0.3 ETH. So I was like, sure, I'll sell that. And like right after I sold, Dr. Disrespect starts talking about it. These influencers on Twitter, like these bigger influencers on Twitter, start talking about it, and then the price just skyrockets to like 0.6. I have a lot more to say about that, but going on to it, this is the Founders Pass. I watched this gamer who I would like totally wreck make a video yesterday. That again, one of the reasons why I sold, I didn't want to embarrass a bunch of people, but I'll go ahead and pull that up before I pull Kyle's up. Is this guy? He said he's like a good sniper or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really watch the video, but
that's a AAA content creator right there.
He showed a little bit of gameplay of him camping in this corner over here. And,
nah, man.
waiting for everybody to come. This is Dead Drop, Dr. Disrespect's game. I think he ends up getting the W on this little clip, right? With that last, did that just take a really long time to hit him? By the way,
there was two guys actually in that scene.
You were so hype, bro. I love it,
dude. That game is like so intense, like so if you never played an extraction shooter, it's quite different from any other PvP or any other like battle royale or like shooter, because like what it is like you can hear proximity, like volume, so it's like spatial, like you can hear footsteps, and like you're like, oh shoot, I gotta be like a little bit quiet, I gotta extract though at the same time, so you have all these dynamics running through your head. And then you also actually have proximity. You can hear the players talking next to you. So if they're close enough to you, you can hear them in their microphone being like, hey, I see you. And like just head games.
Well, that's how the newest Call of Duty is too. Like the newest Warzone 2.0.
Yeah, but it's proximity. This proximity chat in this game is better. Like I'm telling you.
Really?
But, yeah. And so anyways, it makes for a really fun dynamic because like before. Yeah, anyways. Okay, so get back to the game. So in extraction shooter, you want to loot as much as possible so you can take it back to your stash. And so that's kind of the whole premise of the game. I won by like being the last man standing essentially. So there is kind of a battle royale aspect to it.
Yeah.
But anyways, pull up my screen. I want to show you something real quick. All right, so this was at GDC, the like gamer developer conference, one of the big conferences around, you know, obviously game developers. This was the Midnight Society banner with the Polygon badge floating over the entire lobby. Look at all these like people down here at the bottom. So there's even not only that, but like an exposure side to the actual game developers themselves. So you do have like Dr. Disrespect streaming it with over 20,000, 25,000 people every day. And then you have this right here in the lobby at the Gamer Developer Conference, which is really important for attracting like that AAA developers like at GDC. So,
yeah, that's huge, dude. I think the other post that I did have up also referenced. If it didn't, I just read about it. Let me see if it did.
There's that.
Oh yeah, here it is. It says, here, I'll bring it up real quick. Oh, my bad. It says, let me tell you, day and night attitude towards blockchain as a product feature for game development from last year at GDC. Massive skepticism last year and blind hatred. Completely different tone and understanding this year. I genuinely feel an inflection point happening.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's the future. Look at this. Polygon and Immutable teamed up as well.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Pretty big stuff there.
What does that mean, Kyle?
So Immutable is going to be using Polygon ZK EVM, and they're going to market it as like IMX ZK EVM, but it's really using the tech stack on Polygon's tech stack for their ZK EVM to make it compatible with Ethereum as close as possible. It's like the golden kind of standard in terms of ZK EVMs. So it's very interesting. It's going to help Immutable and Polygon, or really just Immutable scale on the gaming side, and make it more compatible to attract developers into the Immutable ecosystem as well, to make those smart contracts like, easier to deploy, vice versa, back and forth, in the macro space, I guess. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting to see this kind of happen. A lot of people are saying it's alluding to like interoperability among a lot of the different like Ethereum chains in the ecosystems. So anyways, we'll have to see like what happens like in the long run, but this is kind of cool. It's pretty cool.
Sweet. First off, there's 26 people in here. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoy this style of content. It really helps with the YouTube algorithms. I'm going to pull this up real quick. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We do these weekly, and then we rotate channels on Kyle's channel. And like I said, we just put it together one podcast. We have a ton of stuff coming out for you guys. Like, we are really trying to make this a thing. DJ and dads that just like talking about NFTs and crypto and gaming and all that fun stuff. So your support goes a long ways just by hitting subscribe, hitting a like. Yeah, with that being said, we can move on. There's so much to talk about in this week. Lots is happening.
Oh yeah, Sony filed the game patent as well. That's another like Web3 big piece of Web3 news there.
Yeah, probably nothing, man. Just Sony filing Web3 patents.
Yeah, and I got the actual image of the patent if you want to throw that up there real fast. This shows literally the skins. Like, look at that, skin 254. Like, you can see the transfer, view history, like, yeah, newly installed Deep Space Fighter used in original game, blah blah blah. So like they are, and it says my NFT, so specifically labels NFTs on their patent. So exciting times, man. Interoperability among Sony games. Again, interoperability in Web3 games hitting the forefront.
Heck yeah, man. I wanted to, before we move off of games, I actually was going to show you guys this Web3 game I've been playing. Just while we're on the topic of games, I won't obviously play it on this stream. That'd be for a different one.
There's this too.
Oh, and we still need, go ahead and share that. It'll take me a second to pull it up.
So this is at GDC, Unreal Engine, Epic Games. Unfortunately, the CEO said that NFTs aren't necessary in Fortnite, which is fine and fair, but they are integrating digital assets into Unreal Engine, the builder itself. And like there's going to be a plugin. So for game developers, they'll be able to buy these assets to use in game like immediately. So this could be a precursor for what Unreal Engine could do in terms of digital assets in game stuff. They could do something similar to Unity, where Unity has SDKs around Web3 ecosystems like Immutable X, and many others that are, like I think even Solana and MetaMask, of course. So we could see this being somewhat of a precursor to what it could be coming down the pipeline in terms of the Unreal Engine developer tools.
Heck yeah, man. I have my game popped up. It's it's so loud. I can't hear a thing. But I was just going to show you guys. So can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, it's the Pirate Nation. So I would definitely recommend looking into the team and everything. I bought this pirate for $200, and it's like a fun little farming game. I hope this isn't loud for you guys. I think I muted it. But essentially, you're this little pirate. You can control. This is my pirate. You can control using a keyboard. You can jump and stuff like that too. But you basically send them out on quests. So this is my pirate. I'm doing a quest right now, I think. I'm not gonna show a ton of gameplay. Yeah, I'm out for a quest right now. So your quests show as transactions. So this is the transaction history of the quest, and basically you earn wood, you earn cotton, you earn stars and stuff like that, and you can craft. So you craft all of these, and you kind of again, I'm just getting started, so I don't know a ton about it, but you can build ships, kind of farm out your own little island. It's been pretty fun though. It's one of those addicting games that I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because it's so loud. It's one of those games that I enjoy because it's kind of mindless. I'm like, has it been an hour since I started my quest? Yeah, it has. So I go back to the game and send out for another quest. And it's really cool because it's on Polygon, so it's like really cheap transaction. Oh, it's doesn't cost you anything, and it shows your transaction log. And like when you, it's fully on chain. So like when you go on a quest, you actually like are on Polyscan or whatever they call it, going on that quest, and you earn a bunch of stuff. So just a bunch of different style of games that are actually like playable right now. Again, I'm still kind of getting the hang of this. I would love to like stream it and show you guys like the ins and outs of like what I'm learning on that. But this is to talk about everything. So we're not going to stay on that for too long.
Yeah, Web3 games are cool, man. A lot of there's another studio too, like Eve, the people who created like Eve Online or something like that. They're getting into Web3 games as well, so they're developing their own title. We know Amazon has a high propensity to be jumping into Web3 games. Again, like what we've been saying for the past year, 2 years is like Web3 games are, in my opinion, could decouple from the rest of the market. And we could see actually a lead here in crypto and blockchain technology and NFTs really lead the way into mainstream adoption.
Oh, I think so too, dude. How much money is spent on like microtransactions a year? It's like it's insane.
Billions and billions.
Yeah, billions of dollars on transactions on like gaming. We didn't even mention that the other side second trip is happening. They're doing something very interesting for this. So other side, other deed. We talked about this a lot. They did the Dookie Dash, which is a lot of people played, competed. The winner was Mongrel, which is a professional Fortnite player, has won 6 figures playing Fortnite in the past. He ended up selling his #1 pass for, was it 1,000 ETH?
Yeah, it was like insane.
Yeah, it was insane.
Like $1.6 million.
The second trip is about to start, and with the second trip, they actually picked team captains. There's a little bit of controversy over this because they didn't. I think a couple of these are Bored Ape holders, but they didn't really pick people inside the community. They picked content creators, which I think was a good decision, because if they pick people within the community, there might not be as much exposure, and if they want this to grow, they need exposure. Now, as far as the content creators they picked, I don't know a ton about them, but here's the team captains. I know Bryson. He's mainly on Twitch and Twitter. Like that's
I've seen Champ. I've seen Champ.
Champ, yeah. Well, there's 2 champs. That's not the one I know. And I don't know the other people. So you know Champ and Bryson as well.
Yeah, I don't know Champ. I know Bryson because I've actually held a Twitter space with him before. And yeah, he's like a Web3. He's like kind of I guess the most well-known Web3 gamer, kind of. Him and like Crypto Stash. And but yeah, so I get why they picked Bryson though, for sure.
Yeah, I know you're
because he's got connections with like Gary V's. Like he signed with Gary V's Web3 company.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's like he like got signed by VaynerMedia or something like that. But yeah, he blew up because of Axie. Like his like come up was a lot to do with Axie Infinity blowing up. And then he like branched out and started doing other stuff. A lot of the actually Web3 gamers blew up because of Axie Infinity. Whereas I thought Veve was gonna blow up like big time like Axie did.
Axie was playable.
Like Axie was playable.
Yeah, it was streamable. It was,
and it's like, a game. It's a game.
Yeah, so you can like sit there.
It technically led the way.
Talk. Yeah, and it was, although it was like people were obviously in it for the money, it's still like it was one of the first like actual playable Web3 games, so that's why it led the way. But yeah, the second trip's gonna happen. Those content creators are gonna be the team captains, and that's pretty much all there is to say right now. There's a little bit more detail that they have in a thread, but I'm not going to go into that because we have so much in this video. I do want to say this is a really good comment from Double Quill. It says, I hate the stereotype, but let's be real here for a moment. If you want to scale large adoption, do mom games. We have the time, and we'll bring the rest of the fam on board. I agree. Do games that are like anyone can play. I'm pretty sure that's what you're trying to say. Games that anybody could play. I actually did interview Scott Herman this week with Wagme Games.
I was just about to bring that up, baby.
and which we haven't even talked about in this episode yet. And the CEO, Ian, not Ian. He spells it I-A-N.
Ian. It is Ian.
Yeah.
It got me too.
I interviewed him this week. And that's that's what they're aiming for. They want to be able to like pick up and play 3 minutes. The concept is easy to play, hard to master. I forgot the exact terminology, but basically anybody can pick it up and play it, But
It's fun.
if you want to go to, and it's fun, and they can enjoy it, and they can do it over and over again. But if you want to go to that next level, there's a huge there's a lot of competition for getting to that next level of competitive nature. That's going to win all gaming. It does win all gaming. I'm a big fan of Clash of Clans, and Clash of Clans you can kind of pick up and play, and if you start from scratch, it's really not hard to catch on. You don't have to wars get a little bit more complicated, but if you really want to get good at it, you got to spend a lot of time like practicing and strategizing, or you can just farm and not have any kind of gaming skills. So I all that to say, I completely agree.
Yeah. I see. I was skeptical about WAGMI. I see somebody like, what games has WAGMI made? What games has any game studio in Web3 made? Like, a lot of them are like making their first games. And so I was skeptical about WAGMI at first. But
wait. Can I pause real quick? They just picked up the CEO. They just picked up somebody from the director
EA.
Of EA. I forgot
EA
his
games.
official title in EA as the new COO. You want to know what games EA has made? And then the game I just showed you, by the way, the guy that one of the founders of it either sold Zynga or he was the CEO of Zynga. So like some of these actually do have a ton of credibility. But like Kyle said, the whole point is this is a new technology. So like if they have people on the team that's done it before, that's what they're going for. Sorry.
No, again, it says so no product yet. They do. It's an alpha. If you want to actually play the game and see for yourself, you can go buy an NFT, the Genesis NFT, and get into the alpha, and you'll find that it's actually really fun. At first, like I was skeptical because in the beginning they were still like building, and but then I went in and played their like recent. They keep updating the game, and so it's very cool. You'll see in like the gamer chat, people are always like saying like, you want to battle? Who's up for battling? And you can just jump in and play. And the music in the game is cool too. I'm like, wow, this is actually they're onto something here. Like this is actually cool to see. And a lot of people faded them in the beginning, and I even was skeptical. I was like in that same thing too. But and they're the first mobile game on Immutable X. So again, I could see them having a good future. So
I was just gonna pull it up. So like do I need to update?
And I think they're set to like launch on the Apple Store like next month or something.
Like I literally have it up on my phone right now. And like it is playable. One of the reasons why like I can't just do like they don't have an auto run or whatever it's called yet where you play against bots. So you do have to find a match. But the matches are playable. So to answer the FUD. Well, that being said, I own 0 WAGMI assets. I would like to get something, but right now I have 0. So I'm allowed to shield. I got no.
Well, it's like I keep seeing too on like, what's that?
I'm just kidding.
I got one Genesis, but I don't know. In I noticed like in communities in the Web3 gaming community, like a lot of people comment about alphas and they're like, oh, it just doesn't look good. I'm like, you realize it's just alpha. Alpha means before the beta. Like, and then beta still means beta. So it's like you let them develop the game, and then when the game fully launches, then judge it from there. But like you can't judge these games off the alpha. Like judge them when it's fully launched. So that's kind of what I have to say there on that.
Yeah, man.
I got lots of bones to pick with the community. Lots of bones to pick.
So let's move on.
Violence today, so sorry. I apologize, chat. I love all you guys.
I'd like you to pick the next one. You added the quid and spatial interoperability.
Yeah.
We have the Coinbase receives Wells notice. By the way, if you're watching right now, at the very end, I'm gonna talk about some free NFTs. This is not for financial incentive, but just cool things to be a part of that are completely free. So I'm gonna talk about that at the very end. So add that, and then there's a couple more topics. What do you want to tackle next? Go.
No, yeah, I mean, Quid, they're testing their avatars in spatial, which is really cool to see. Again, signs of interoperability. It's their own IP, own brand. It'd be neat to see if they can actually pull like bigger IP and brand and do the same thing there. I think that's the question we're all kind of wanting to see and ask, and even on VV2.
Is this what you have pulled up on your screen?
Yeah, it just shows that their avatar is like running around in spatial and things like that. Even we've seen the Weta Workshop NFTs.
I didn't expect it to be so big. It's like a transformer.
Quid. We saw the Weta Workshop NFTs on Quid. Also, like you can fully display like the entire like 3D asset in spatial, and it looks super high quality. So I heard in Twitter Spaces people were kind of saying like, you can't do that. I'm like, you can actually do that with Weta Workshop NFTs in Spatial, and it looks incredible. So again, they're kind of showing people like the interoperability here, which is kind of cool. So I wanted to showcase that just because, like, again, we would all love to see this on Veve and see Veve do stuff like this. So that's the only reason why I want to show that. And then, of course, the Arbitrum airdrop today, that happened too.
Big A said, I bought 4 Cool Cat fractures because of Vue 3 ends today, looking like a good investment so far. Well, I'm glad it's looking good, Big A. I have one, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I haven't been keeping up as much as I keep on like wanting to do the quest, and then like I get distracted and haven't done them. But either way, I'm still looking forward to see what the fracture turns into.
Okay, so in terms of my like last Web3 games like shill thing, or I guess like I don't know what you want to call this, but ChatGPT AI being integrated into Unity game developer engines, that's huge. I mean, we're seeing a base level of it right now, but what happens when AI gets more advanced and you're able to build in entire universes and open worlds using AI in game engines? And I think that's huge.
Yeah, that is huge. And ChatGPT is so much fun. If you've never tried it, I know you've heard about it because everybody's talking about it. You should definitely try it one day.
I actually have an example of a coder that was using AI to build scripts and things like that in Unity.
What up, Jess?
And I'll show you what that actually looks like, because this could be the future. If I could, it will be. And then also NVIDIA dropped they dropped like, it's called Kulitho, which basically lets these chip makers like make the chips smaller, essentially the transistors smaller. So that's going to scale like technology in terms of, so AR headsets, for example, you have to have these small chips inside the glasses if you want them to be like people like want them to be small form factors. And people are saying that like that's going to make them go mainstream. Well, if that's the case, you need small chips, right? You can't just have the bulky comes from like batteries and chips and things like that in these headsets. But NVIDIA is basically combining AI with how they make chips, and basically it's making it to where chip makers can make the chips even smaller or more powerful, at least to 2 nanometers, which is like
that's pretty cool,
itty bitty.
Were you gonna pull it up?
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find.
I have something to pull up if you want me to in the meantime.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a little off topic, but just going on, like when you buy an NFT, what do you own? You know, like we need to think about this critically. And at the end of the day, if you own an NFT, like you own the metadata that points to an image. And this project's doing something very interesting. This is a big project, and this is not the first time it's been done. But Kyle and I have talked a lot on our previous episodes about the royalty debate on marketplaces. So like OpenSea and Blur, it's basically a race to see who can get to 0% royalties for creators, which is ultimately just going to be bad for the space, good for the marketplaces. They're basically screwing over the people that started them. So some projects are going on strike. What they're going to do is they're going to have to relaunch their contracts. So in order to do that, you basically have to scrap everything you did and restart. So what this project is doing, which is a pretty decent sized project, somebody I follow pretty closely on Twitter as a holder, they're doing the token migration. So they changed all the NFTs to this little GIF or GIF, whatever you call it. So if you're holding the NFT, now all you have is we are migrating contracts so that we can enforce royalties. This NFT will be worthless on March 24th. Wait until migration to buy. Don't like the NFT projects or royalties. Too bad. So if you own one of these Plague NFTs, this is the metadata. So I wonder if it's already up right now. Let's go look at their. Why do they not have? Oh, they probably don't have their OpenSea because they don't want it to be up there. So we'll actually have to like manually go to OpenSea. What's it called? The Plague. Well, let's see if they changed it. Just thought it was pretty interesting play there. I can't find them. I wonder if they took it down. Am I putting it wrong? Whoops.
So like, yeah, this is a big update because this is affecting like the entire NFT space, and a lot of projects are missing out on millions of dollars. And so even Neo Tokyo is doing this. They're migrating their NFTs to a new contract that will basically give the option for the NFT project itself to be able to determine which marketplace they can actually be on. But the kind of downside is you'll lose a lot of the data and a lot of the history on these NFTs, or you'll lose all of it.
Yeah.
And you'll kind of have to start over. So a lot of projects will have to do this. And if they don't do it now, they're going to end up losing millions and millions of dollars. So anyways, that's kind of like.
Yeah, it also kills, to me, the momentum. Like, I guess it doesn't matter if you're already on this scale, but there's always a little bit of credibility on having like a lot of ETH volume. And I guess if they relaunch the project, it's not even going to show
It's not going to show
the initial Ethereum volume, which 4,400 or 4,410 volume ETH is a lot. So like they're gonna have to start from zero, which again, they're established, so they'll be fine. But they definitely lose some momentum there.
Now, I assume like these marketplaces will build in like the prior history into these collections long term. But like you're right, like it'll probably not display any data at first. And then you'll run into the problem like, is this a scam? Is this the real collection?
Yeah.
On a lot of these like NFT projects that are going to migrate, which I assume a lot of them will, because this is like a kind of like one of those like big moments in the NFT space. Like that's going to have to happen, or else like you'll fall prey to these marketplaces that are like circumventing or exploiting like, these royalty systems.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, by the way, that the NFTs are going to be worthless, and that it's just going to show the metadata I showed you. Now, granted, I'm sure they'll just get airdropped on this new. That's also I'd assume that they're going to have to airdrop all of the ones they were holding to previous holders, which is very expensive to do on ETH. I mean, 10,000.
Oh yeah. I got that AI pulled up, by the way, up top.
Go for it.
So this is a guy, 3D designers are going to love this. Is ChatGPT for Unity. It's available to everybody.
I did see this.
So this dude's going to go in, he's just going to type in like a bunch of commands into the AI like prompt box, and it's just going to update and show like the different things he's doing, just telling it by just typing something in. Look at this. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts.
Now imagine just telling it to like build an entire world, like obviously when it's like more advanced.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what that looks like. And then
God, there's gonna be so much cool stuff.
Dude, this one I wanted to show you. This one is just kind of off the cuff, like random. But this is a platform that lets you upload an asset like a JPEG. And what they do is they have this like genius level like pipeline.
What?
Yeah, so it's like a pipeline that you can choose what metaverse you want to like have your asset in, and they build like all these different assets in different metaverses for you. So this is like Core Games, which is like a gaming metaverse for gamers. This one's, I guess, Core Games has been around apparently. I didn't know because like they just been now getting into the Web3 space. But he's gonna jump off this ledge and it's gonna like port him into, now this is obviously just a video, but he's like in Decentraland right now. You can see the top right corner, Decentraland, same NFT. Different,
what?
Like a decentralized avatar. Watch this.
He's one of the 5 people that are in Decentraland right now.
Right. He's gonna jump in here. Boom. Sandbox.
What? Where's the rabbits?
Where's the rabbits? So again, you can like pick the top metaverses and then like basically go to this platform and have them create all your different assets.
I want to say, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like this is something that Veve should be doing. Like this is the kind of things I like to see. I see Quid doing it now. Like let's hopefully see if like Veve could do something like that.
Or just see, which I mean, Veve will be a possibility of. I asked Dan Crothers himself when I was in California if you'll be able to like. This was before it was super out there because like I was with him and I asked him a question. If you'll be able to take assets from other NFTs and put them into the Veveverse, and he said yes. And then we saw an example of that because when you got in line at Decon and you put the VR headset on, you could see Brock's fishes like swimming around the area. So which shows that NFTs came from like another platform. So it's not gonna be it's not like Veve is building that, but Veve could be like one of those locations they could jump into.
That's a great point, man.
With the Veveverse, yeah,
that's an excellent point. Like I'll reach out to this platform and see if they like once Veveverse launches, maybe we could have them add Veveverse, and then now people can actually like a lot of people in the Veve community has been buying a Kid Called Beast NFTs, Wouldn't it be cool if you could use that in the Veve verse?
Would be awesome. So
Hello,
it's
like
three,
of
it's 3 plus for
course,
you.
of course. Like
We're
half the
gonna
Veve fam owns AKCB.
make that work for Veve. Get them like a multi-million-dollar deal, and they'll probably be like, "Thanks." So where's our royalties?
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Cool, man. There's a couple more things. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I feel like there's something important on that last topic, but I don't remember. Basically this whole thing's been really cool on metaverses, Web3 gaming, all the way from the Rabbids topic, royalties, contract migration. Which, by the way, somebody did say basically is whitelist for marketplace is like royalties where it's not forcible on chain. I guess it is forcible depending on the contract, because you can code the I'm not a dev, but I've heard you can code the contract in ways to where you can deny certain marketplaces. So like you can deny contract interaction with Seaport or with OpenSea or with Blur or whatever. So I think that's what they're doing, is saying that like we are not going to allow these certain marketplaces that are already established that they don't care about royalties. They might just allow it might just be their marketplace, because the Plague has their own marketplace, and a lot of NFT projects are going to have their own marketplace, including Disney one day. So because they'll get a bigger cut of those fees. So that's all that they're doing. So they might be, getting rid of all of them. Next topic and our last topic, because we are kind of coming to the close. Thank you, chat. By the way, we're not ending yet. Oh, there's one more big one. We're not ending yet. We're actually about to talk about free stuff, so stay around for that. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. If you haven't already liked, be sure to like. It helps us out a lot. So I put free NFTs on here because there's a couple right now like that. If you're watching, you can go do this right now and get some free stuff. Now, again, this isn't like a value proposition. I'm not saying, hey, go get this for free so you can sell it for 10x. But if you just want free stuff, then here it is. Nobody's really talking about this, Kyle, and I feel like it could be big. Reddit is doing another free claim. There's a lot of them, but essentially you go to Reddit, you go to style avatar, explore, and then choose your animal. And you have like 5 options. I chose the turtle because, I mean, look at that thing. It's really cute. And you get one of them for free. Now, another thing that Reddit did, shout out to, I don't know if it's Elena or Elena. She does some of the best recaps that I've seen in the space. I do recaps like once a week. She does them like every single day. But she pointed out that Reddit is, I don't know where she saw it. What day was this? This was yesterday. She pointed out that Reddit also announced that they're going to have their own marketplace, which is what I just mentioned. Everyone's going to do it. All right. So the CEO confirmed marketplace for Reddit NFTs. I don't know if that was on their official Reddit, which I don't know why I'm not following. They actually do talk about some of their little avatars, but
yeah, I assume that they would have I thought they already did have a marketplace, so I assume they would.
No, they have a wallet, and all the trading went on OpenSea. But again, we're going to see a decline of people using OpenSea and Blur, and more of an uptick of people launching their own marketplaces.
Yeah, again, like that's something that I've kind of mentioned before, and you probably mentioned it too, is like these big, as much as like these big Web2 companies get bashed, they could actually generate a lot of the fees and take a lot of the market share because they are juggernauts. Like, Amazon, eBay, Shopify, even, not only Shopify, but there's some other ones like the music marketplaces as well in terms of music. So again, they could start kind of taking market share away long run. Like you'll have to hurry up and be like a super like good pioneer. And like, I don't know, like I think Blur and OpenSea will still have a place if they can like, because they have the development teams, I think. I mean, Blur's pretty, like they've shown their prowess in developing skills. But they do have to make sure, like long run, that their business model is sustainable. Because
Blur, it's not. I mean,
it's not. Yeah,
it depends on what they integrate. I like that Blur is a marketplace for traders because it does a really good job at showing analytics without need of other tools.
And that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah,
that's what I was
trying. Just kind of like already like established, but right now everybody's still farming for the Blur airdrop.
Right, and that's what I was getting at, is like Blur right now is not a sustainable business model. They're gonna have to appeal to the Web2 businesses out there too. Like they want their royalties. And long run, I don't think that's really sustainable, especially for like Web3 games. That's paramount that these Web3 developers get their royalties, because that's how they're going to fund their company and make more fun games.
I do think you can block royalties on an Mutable X contract level. So like on Ethereum, I believe that it has to be established in the contract, but I don't think it has to be established in the contract if you're going through Immutable X. I think Immutable X kind of has its own thing for that.
They enforce royalties, and then they'll have their community vote, like they're through the IMX governance token, vote on marketplaces, like they either want to like not allow or allow. So that's kind of how they're going to approach it. So Veve kind of has like these extra layers of like protection in terms of the Immutable X. And I'm sure they talked about that early on. Like, this is probably not new to Veve. What's new to Veve is how these marketplaces like Blur just popped out of the blue and exploited the actual contracts on OpenSea to do that. So a lot of people really don't know Blur to an extent on some of this stuff. Like, I was like listening to some of these like Twitter spaces, and people really didn't understand what was going on.
Next free, that's a lot of times, man. You know, it is what it is. The next free NFT, one of my favorite Web3 broadcasts, besides DJ and Dads, of course, is the Nifty with PO and Nick, which, by the way, PO did start out in Veve. But they're dropping free NFTs almost every day. You can follow, make sure you get at Nifty Portal. It's the right one. And you just go, follow the prompt of their tweet. You go here and you claim, enter your email address. It's just email and password. And then you have like a code. And I think like right now it just sends you, it basically you just claim it. You don't mint it yet because they didn't ask for any like wallet information or anything. And I think they only go on for like 24 hours. But at the end of the day, they could do something with this. I know a lot of people, I don't know if they're going to make them valuable or if they're just kind of doing it for a fun thing, but they could definitely have a lot of use cases with these. It's free. Why not? Just one of those shout outs to the Nifty for doing something cool. And the thing is, like, I feel like people are going to complain if they don't do anything with it, but like, it's free. Like, don't claim it if you don't want it. Like, it's that easy.
For sure. By the way, there is peer-to-peer market trading and marketplaces out there.
Blockchain Comics said you got PO into Veve.
I got PO into Veve, bro. Hey. Yeah, there's a lot of like big influencers or content creators in the Web3 space that either started off in Veve or they know about Veve, or they're kind of like closet collectors because they want to appear more degen or like DeFi, like, you know what I mean? More decentralized. So they don't really say anything. And so they just kind of like collect on the sidelines a little bit, and they watch and they kind of like, you know, they don't say much, but it's interesting. I think they will once like Veve goes interoperable. Yeah, Veve. What's this, Nick? Yeah,
what you think, bro? That guy gonna steal your girl with that CryptoPunk jacket?
I saw him post about this picture. It was like, how's your week going? And then he screenshotted somebody's like comment about this. He's like, how do you say you're a virgin without saying you're a virgin, or something like that?
Some were hilarious, dude. It got 4 million views. I mean, it went pretty viral for like a NFT post.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I mean, you know, a lot of people are doing like silly stuff like this. Like, people are like thinking that it's like super serious because the internet makes things too serious. But at the end of the day, it's all like about virality, because like they're a production company or whatever, a broadcast company. So like, the more views they get, the better for their company. So like, doing stuff like this is actually really smart. You might have to sell a little bit of your ego, you know, if you have any.
Nick's funny as heck though. Like,
he is funny.
Remember him flying to like the Bahamas to like try to like interview SBF, and he was like, oh, dude, I was dying. He's like, I'm at the Bahamas. We're here. And it's just like the goofiest thing, man.
I know. The fact that they actually went to the Bahamas to try to get that interview with SBF was nuts, man.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, he was being funny about the whole situation, though. It was like making light of it. You know, they're really good at that. They're really good at making light of situations. So.
They are. You know, it's not a light situation that we'll end on. We'll end on this topic anyways, this kind of bearish topic. I would like to know your thoughts as someone who has been in crypto for a while, I've actually never seen what I'm looking at right now. It says crypto can provide a meaningful update to the existing financial system and increase economic freedom in the world. It's time to update the system. So, anyways, Coinbase got a well notice from the SEC. You want to talk about that, or have you heard about that?
I heard about it. It's usually like a precursor to imminent, like an imminent court case, or pretty much. I mean, Brian, if you want to pull up Brian Armstrong's tweet, he actually covers
Yeah.
it a little bit better. But that's what he was saying. It's like usually alluding to an imminent like legal action against like a regulator. So he kind of went into it a little bit more in terms of the Wells notice. Definitely bearish for sure. There, like, there's a war on crypto, obviously going on, like banks crashing that just so happen to have like crypto businesses and crypto services and things like that or like, you know, some of these platforms using these banks. So it just seems a little fishy, a little odd that that there's like all this going on. You're seeing the SEC attack crypto left and right. Yeah, and there's no clear regulation. It's just not a good a fun time for crypto right now, for sure.
Yeah, man, it hurts. I send out GMs every morning on Twitter, and my GM today was to everybody who's still holding despite like the whole world, you know, kind of crashing in on it. So yeah, they got a Wells notice. Like you said, it's a pretty serious. You have to act fast on a Wells notice, and this is what Brian Armstrong has to say. I don't know if this is a little bit too long to read on here. Let's see.
It's good to know, that's for sure.
Yeah, Brian Armstrong, despite him running like a centralized platform, I think he's really good for DeFi. And Coinbase has made steps that like do care about DeFi because what people don't understand,
major
like, because like
steps.
people want Coinbase and like these other big companies to fail, and I don't know why. Like, and the reason they want them to fail is because they're not true DeFi. These people are getting DeFi adopted, like literally, like the huge onboard of people into crypto is Coinbase, is Voyager, which went down. Was like these companies. Now, granted, there's like sketchy things going on. Sometimes sketchy things going on in the background, and sometimes I don't always agree with the CEOs. Brian Armstrong has done things I don't agree with. He bought like this is his money, so whatever. But he bought like a $22 million home. I don't remember the price. It was insane, and then laid off like X% of his staff like directly afterwards because of like finance stuff. But like at the end of the day, as from an objective standpoint, like Coinbase is good for DeFi. If you haven't seen, through Coinbase, they're launching so many cool things. They're highlighting like DeFi apps that you can use for like trading, for collecting, for experiences. Because that's their market. Like they want, like if they promote decentralized finance, a lot of times you still buy from Coinbase to send it out to a self-custody wallet. So like they still get, like, if DeFi succeeds, they succeed. So like they want it to succeed. So I don't know. That's my take on it though.
Yeah, I agree with you because
hold on. Obviously, it's a centralized exchange. Like, what do you think? Did you not listen to anything I just said?
Yeah,
like obviously they still want decentralized finance to succeed because people use a centralized exchange to buy crypto.
Exactly. So I mean, yeah, it's like they're not going to go away, and I don't think they will. But not only that, Coinbase is like running nodes for Rocket Pool, which is literally a decentralized liquidity pool. And they're also using Optimism's tech stack, which they're launching their own layer 2, which is going to be called Base, which those fees, a portion of those fees will go back to Optimism, which is a fully decentralized platform. So again, I totally agree with you. Coinbase is making positive moves for decentralization, and that's really what they're pushing for. If you looked at some of their most recent media and commercials, they absolutely tear apart the traditional finance system. So again, they're spending their money, their hard-earned dollars, to actually push the narrative forward for decentralized finance and really crypto as a whole. So you're not having to do that. You're not having to pay like commercial, millions of dollars to like put these media and commercials out there. Coinbase is doing it for you. So you do have to give them credit where credit's due. They are a centralized exchange for sure, but in the future, they might be decentralized to a degree, or some of their products. So time will tell. I don't know what that looks like. In the beginning, I was there like when Coinbase first started, and I get that. Like you don't own your keys like inside of Coinbase, but they have made a wallet that is more decentralized than their actual platform itself. So definitely they're moving the needle forward there in terms of that in the macro.
Yeah, what DeFi project's going to spend millions of dollars running ad campaigns? We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I will bring it up. Like this video, I don't know if you saw this video. It's so good.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
It basically shows the need for decentralized finance and how the like current structure is like outdated. I'll explain it instead of listening to it, but essentially, like, she's wanting to transfer money overseas, but it's going to take like 7 to 9 days. Like, why? Or like, it takes money to take your money out, or like, if your money gets low, you get fined on your money. Like, it talks about a lot of those things. So like,
Yeah,
these things push towards decentralization. Like, they push people to DeFi. I'm not saying that Coinbase is DeFi.
right. Yeah, a lot of people just don't really understand, or they don't really track the wider macro space of what Coinbase is actually doing. And again, like, you can't really compare this to anything like I don't know. I don't know. People are just trying to jump to conclusions a little too quick there, but I get it. Like in the early days, though, Coinbase was like, it went down because there's so much traffic there, and like it did raise flags. Like we're seeing the same arguments kind of in VV community. So it's like nothing new in terms of like some of these arguments we're seeing on VV. So it's happened before.
Sweet. Well, that pretty much wraps up a lot of our topics. I think we still had a few in there, but that was some really good talk on Web3 gaming specifically, and just a couple of things that are going on in the space. You buying or selling or minting anything this week?
I don't think I'll be minting anything this week. What about you?
I minted an NFT Now Pass right before this live, and it was basically, it's like a tokenized media. I'll pull it up. I was gonna actually recorded my experience, but it wasn't that great. I thought that they were going to like because they're really like aesthetic, like the NFTs are. I don't think they're not revealed right now, but I thought they're gonna have like a very aesthetic like reveal, and they just didn't. Here, let me put it down for a second. One of the reasons I thought that was because their introduction to it on their Instagram was really good, but it was kind of anticlimactic. But NFT Now, they threw an awesome, they threw the event in Miami, and that I went to for Art Basel, or around Art Basel, and it was just phenomenal. And they have a ton of connections, so like all those connections are going to be good for the project. They're going to tokenize media, which that's like a whole other conversation. It's going to be like point space if you hold the pass. I'm trying to find the actual post they did of like the walkthrough. It was really cool. Is this it? No, they kind of talking about their events. Oh well, I can't find the post, but essentially they advertise like, oh, here it is. This is how I kind of thought the reveal experience would be, but it wasn't. It's kind of like a walk through this like digital gallery. I wish I could make this bigger, but whatever.
It looks pretty good. You can see like the reflection off the floor. NFT Now's good, man. One of the like best media companies around NFT, covering NFTs. So I like NFT Now.
Yeah, I do too, man. They do a really good job at keeping everybody up to date, and they've got a killer team who was early to crypto, and they know what they're doing. And I genuinely believe they care about their holders, so I think they're going to provide the value. I didn't mint the pass to flip it, and I paper hand a lot, Kyle, but I actually minted this pass just to hold it for years to come because I want to be a part of what they're building. I also run some of their Twitter spaces. We have not financial advice Twitter spaces to where we talk about like trading and events happening, and kind of have some special guests on there. And that's on NFT Now Twitter. And so I kind of work with them. I work with Ninja Alerts, but Ninja Alerts works with them. So, but I'm very close. I mean, I have meetings with some of the founders like weekly on like marketing and stuff.
Nice. Now I think I'll just be like minting honestly some of the quid stuff. So they're cheap. It's like what, $4 a pack or something like that. They're dropping the aliens today.
What time?
I think they were dropping around like 11 PT, which is like roughly our like 1 p.m. I think, something like that. So I'll probably hop on over there and check out the drop, and maybe I'll try to land like a because I've been giving these avatars away, so I'll try to like do something like that.
Let's sorry, real quick. The
So I'll probably like mint some and give some away.
nice.
I do have a
Heck yeah.
giveaway that's ending like now.
No shilling. Get out of here.
Saying I like
Just
have
kidding,
it,
buddy. I'm just
I have
kidding,
it like
buddy.
ending like sometime now. So I just
Well,
reminded
chill
myself
it.
of that.
Chill it. Get people to go see it.
Oh no, I was just saying. That's
Yeah, I
all
mean,
I'm minting today.
pull it up.
No,
Get people to go.
no, I don't want to
This
pull it up.
this is
Yeah,
people that are
it ends.
some
It ends.
Ayo, Crypto Chris right here. That's your boy. Oh wait, that's Nate. There's some people minting NFT now pass right now. You got Farouk, you got Richard Mundor, you got this Nate Alex guy, which is apparently the number 12 trader by realized profits. But you got the one and only, it used to be Crypto Chris. This is me, guys. It's got my Twitter. It's behind on my Twitter. It does say NFT YouTuber on it though. Ninja Alerts team. This is the NFT Now Pass. This is what people are minting and buying and selling in real time, and we're gonna have a really cool update coming soon, V3. So
nice.
Little Ninja Alerts chill right there. But cool, man. I'll also probably be if I'm home, I'll be minting some of the Quid stuff too, because it's their first mint to play. I'm pretty excited about it. Guys, go share Kyle's giveaway. Go enter it. Because he wants to give you stuff just for interacting. And this has been a really good podcast. We will be on Kyle's channel next week, DJ and Dad's Weekly. We're building a lot of cool stuff. We're working on this podcast. We're upping production quality. We might do a lot more special things in the future with it. So your early support is very much appreciated. Whether it's arguments in chat, which we always welcome, whether it's support in chat, whether it's likes or subscribes to either one of our channels, we appreciate you. And no, we don't appreciate Cardano around here, but we appreciate. And I'm just kidding. I actually hold Cardano, but that's a whole different conversation. Anything left to say, Kyle?
No, yeah. No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, same thing. Thanks for joining. It's always a blast talking about Web3, NFTs, blockchain, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.